Hi everyone, I think it's time for me to get back in front of the camera and update everyone on what's been going on. So first of all, I know I haven't been as much active recently, but it's about to change. I'm gonna be posting much more. I have some really cool videos in the pipeline in working for you. So please like this video. That way YouTube can start recommending my videos again to the public. Some of the videos that are going to be coming up is the Swing Vision review, and I know it's 2022 out there, but still I think Swing Vision is relevant. I wanted to share my own perspective on the app and on the whole idea. The perspective is a little bit different from other reviews. Also, I'm going to be posting a tennis specific workout for upper body and lower body that has helped me transform my game to the next level last summer, and I'm gonna be picking up the gym again, and we'll be recording that workout as well. The workout has been shared with me by a top 200 ATP player. That workout was developed specifically for him, but I think it's relevant to anyone. I really love it, and it really added a lot of speed and power to my game, and I think it will be very helpful for young juniors, especially who are aspiring to play college. To be able to incorporate that in their daily routine. Now, and lastly, I'm going to be also working on getting a review of the new Yonex E-Zone racket. I heard a very good, very positive feedback of it, and considering that the review of the VCore Pro has been very successful, I would love to review the E-Zone as well. As you know, I love Yonex products, well, specifically tennis rackets. I think they're superior in their quality and their feel, and they have something for everyone. So I'm very excited to review that racket as well. Now, for this video that we're going to be watching today, it's been a very tough match. It's been a very tough mental match. Why? First of all, since moving to Austin, it's been windy every single day that I've been here. There's only been like 3 days where it was normal conditions. I don't play really well in the wind because, first of all, you will see that my game relies on being in position, having like just a little bit more perfect conditions than most people require, and also that I haven't been playing in the wind pretty much for, I don't know, 10 years or something. So after playing college, I haven't played for 5 years, and after when I started playing, I started playing in Seattle, where you play most of the time indoors. Very different tennis, and in my opinion is actually playing indoors a lot is actually bad for your game, for one of these reasons that you will see today. Plus Seattle's now very windy, so anyway, so like these conditions, we have north of 20-mile-an-hour winds, gusts of over 30, absolutely horrible conditions, not only for me but for my opponent as well. But in my opinion, my opponent is doing pretty well in the wind because he has a much better footwork than I do, and his endurance is also a little bit better than mine. Again, in this match I lost in a tiebreaker, and the tiebreak score was something like 11-9, and I had 4 set points that I lost. So I actually learned quite a lot from this match, and it has been one of the most heartbreaking matches, well, sets I guess, in a while. One of the reasons is because, think about it, as a tennis player, you coming out on a tennis court, and even if you're playing with your friend, like I do in this case, you still want to win. I mean, if you're not coming out on the court and playing a set against someone, and then you don't have a feeling of not wanting to win, there's something wrong with you. I mean, the tennis is all about pressure, and the people who really succeed in this sport are the people who love the experience of pressure, the experience of challenge. Because whenever it's 6-all in a tiebreaker, it is a challenge, right? I mean, you coming out, you have a lot of pressure, especially if it's a tournament, especially if people watching. It's a pressure, it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. Can you win next 2 points or next 1 point? And thinking about it, just think about it. Put yourself in that situation. Do you enjoy a challenge? So if the answer is yes, then you probably would be doing really well. Well, you have a chance to do well in the sport, because the sport is very mental. Now, also because the wind, why people don't like playing in the wind? Well, because obviously the ball moves a lot, but that's really not the problem. The reason why people play bad in the wind is because of their footwork. Because if the ball is moving quite a bit, it means that you need to do more adjustments to the ball. Some of the shots that, especially powerful shots, they become a little bit less percentage. By less percentage, I mean you just have less percent chance of making the shot. So that accounting for that is really what playing in the wind is all about. Like, for example, I cannot live without hitting a strong backhand or a strong forehand to try to take the time away from my opponent and to try to gain ground. But the way I have to think about it personally is that, okay, my normal shots, the percentage of them went down. Tennis is all about maximizing the percentage of you making the shot, basically, and putting the opponent in a worse and worse situation with every shot you make during the point. So I cannot be playing the same way when I play when there is no wind. So I have to make an account where it's like, okay, I'm gonna be patient for extra 1 or 2 shots. I have to be more selective in my shots, and I have to be more precise. It's okay. My power level can go down, but my accuracy of shots has to improve so that I can get that chance to be aggressive again. So with me going on the rant about it, I think let's go ahead and start watching the video. I will be commenting a little bit as we go, and I'll be pointing out things where the footwork is what's really messing me up here. Some of the things that I should have been doing differently, and I'll also be talking about what type of player I'm playing against and how I should play or how I shouldn't play in certain situations against him. Because Ben is a very interesting type of player. I would say Ben is actually the worst type of player for me, because he will get to every single ball. Every single ball will come back deep on the middle, and the point will be reset and it will be all over again. I absolutely hate those. I hate playing against those. Well, I shouldn't say like I hate about. Like I actually enjoy playing Ben a lot, because with him we get the most insane points because he gets to everything. So points just become more dynamic. It's really cool, but it is frustrating to try to play competitive like set, because mentally you start getting I cannot win. Things are not going my way. But it's a good mental practice to slow things down, to say, okay, we need to try something different. But anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and start watching the match. Alrighty, so I have to warn you right away, the first couple of points and even couple of games are pretty boring, because we are just completely amazed by the amount of wind. But notice the backhand right there. Right? Why did I miss it? It was such a simple backhand, but really the reason I missed it is because I need to make my backhands more dynamic in wind conditions. Just like this forehand right here and this forehand that is coming up. Look at my weight transfer. See, I'm coming through the ball really nicely, not so much here. And then now watch this point as well. There will be a backhand down the line at some point. Notice how I move through the ball right there. So that's really what playing in the wind is all about, is that you have to be making your shots more dynamic. And when I say dynamic, you have to be really transferring your weight through the ball. I mean, reasonably, of course, but you have to be giving something to the ball, especially depending on the wind direction. Here I just made 3 double faults in a row because the ball is absolutely all over the place. But going back to the topic of playing in the wind, if the wind is going parallel to the court, so at some point you're playing against the wind, at some point you're playing with the wind. That's when you can do something about your footwork to be able to adjust. Where I said you have to making your shots more dynamic. Like if, for example, you're playing against the wind, the ball is stopping. So that's especially important for you to be going through the ball more, giving that extra pace to the ball. When you're playing with the wind, in this case, I'm on the opposite side, so I'm playing with the wind. So the wind is blowing towards the screen right now. In those conditions, is a little bit easier to play because you are able to dictate the point a little bit more because your opponent has a little less time. But again, I cannot be lifting the ball up above the net too much as well. Now, here's where, so I think about 2-all is where things will start to get interesting. But here we're getting a couple of nice points too. That was a great point. Also notice on my return, actually, I'm bouncing a lot. I will come back to that topic actually in the next receiving game. My serve has been giving me a lot of problems recently, very low percentage, and still trying to figure out why actually. Because technique looks fine, there is something about timing timing of a toss and a shot that has been messing me up. Again, this point was a perfect example of weight transfer forward. One of the best tips actually I've ever gotten on the serve is that notice how my weight just went towards the left net pole. The weight, when you're hitting the serve, the weight should be going into the direction where you're trying to hit the ball. So now let's look at the return. See how I'm bouncing? Like both of my feet are off the ground on every return. This was a perfect example of not stepping closer to the ball. See, again, I'm just jumping. Both of my feet have to be touching the ground at the time when I'm hitting the ball, but I'm just I'm trying to make these extra adjustments because of the wind, but they're really not helping. Just like that there, just dumb mistakes. This was a nice one. So again, playing with the wind is a little bit easier, and the serve gets a little bit extra pace. Yeah, that forehand had no weight going through it. I was just on the same spot. This was awesome. Again, here the decision was great, but the wind just took the ball a little bit further than I hoped. Also notice one more thing here. Look how short my balls are landing. So like really, if I want to dictate the point, and also notice how when I'm hitting the ball is on the descending slope. So that's one thing that I've been getting really bad at recently, is that I have to be hitting the ball and the ball is at its highest point after the bounce. But sometimes I'm waiting the ball for too long and end up hitting the ball when the ball is descending. That's really bad actually. I'm just taking all advantage away from myself. Just like here, this was an interesting point. I also noticed that my spin is not as effective as it could be. Like the ball is heavy, it has a lot of spin, but it's not really pulling my opponent away from the court, because really when I'm playing Ben, I really have to move him. So see right there, he's not leaving the borders of the sidelines of the court. So even right there, like you would think it was a decent forehand, but again, he had to take only 1 or 2 steps to get to it, but that's not very effective. Really, the effectiveness of your game you will be able to see when your opponent is moving beyond the borders of the sidelines, not beyond the alley, just beyond the sideline of the singles court. When you start seeing your opponent taking more and more shots closer to those lines, that's when you can tell, like, okay, I'm moving my opponent really well, and I'm gaining a lot of advantage in the point. Just like there, see, he is past the sideline, but again, he's back into the point, so I completely lost all the advantage that I gained early, and I lost the point. So this is one of the reasons why playing Ben is just so frustrating. Actually, I remember this being a really funny point. Just hit the line barely on that shot, and the one-handed backhand. I've been debating to change to one-handed backhand recently, actually. I don't know, maybe I should make a video of how to go from two-hander to one-hander. But anyway, what I was saying is, like, notice how in these points, when Ben starts to get pushed to the sidelines, somehow the point resets. So I don't really understand if it's like just he's that good of resetting the point, or if it's just me really bad in keeping the advantage that I get in the point. Because Ben is not gonna miss. Like, we can be hitting these shots all day long. I mean, he has no problem in seeing, and I'm just gonna miss. But so far, I missed every single point when we went long. Why is that? It's really simple. My footwork is completely trash right now. I'm a little bit out of shape. The footwork is not fast. I'm able to make it fast for 2 or 3 games, and then it just drops off, and that's it. My game is just completely disappears. That is where the workouts that I'm planning to do are gonna come in handy, and I will be posting those videos very soon. Zero weight going through the ball. The idea on that backhand line was good, but again, I was hitting the ball on a descending slope. The best return you can hit is deep down the middle. See, Ben had 0 time to recover on that one. But he hit a really good serve. 124 miles an hour against the wind. Resets the point. It's just borderline disgusting to me. If that went in, I would be so mad. Also, swing vision just kind of feels like messes up sometimes the points. Like, I feel like it cut out a couple points that should have been in there. But okay, here starts the tiebreak, and this was a very interesting one. (6-2). So I have 4 set points right here. Okay, got a little, okay, sure. Good serve, maybe not so lucky. Alright, 3 more points to win. What can go wrong? Hitting the ball on descending slope again. Not that big, not that good of a fork. But okay, reset the point. And I'm just unforced there, out of nowhere, okay. Sure, okay, still 2 more points to win. Alright, this is it. Boom. Bad approach, and the wind just takes the ball somewhere. idea and actually worked with my feet pretty decent, but yep. Again, swing vision messed up here, a couple of points. Okay, it's 7-0. Here was the first point where I actually kept the gained advantage. Yeah, I don't know why I went for that shot. And a double fault to finish the misery. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching the match and some of my commentary and thoughts behind it. Hopefully they were not too distracting. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about this format. A couple of final thoughts on the match is, why did I lose? Okay, well, so first of all, whenever you're losing that close, it's hard to say why you lost. But I can definitely say two things to get better at it are footwork, especially on the backhand. In the windy conditions, it really punishes me, but forehand as well. Take more forehands and have a better footwork. Second thing I can do better is when Ben moves closer to the sidelines. Really, I need to recognize that advantage, and I need to keep it throughout the point. Out of all the points that I've seen, where he was able to reset the point after that, I lost them. So I need to get better at keeping that advantage and really dragging them through the point, ideally coming to the net and finishing the point that way. I think if I can I'm going to record a match against Ben again in a couple of weeks, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, because he's going to be gone for a week or something. So in 2 or 3 weeks, I again match against Ben, and hopefully I'll be having a better footwork, and I'll be keeping the advantage when I'm moving him throughout the court. After that, let's see how he responds, and it will be an interesting dynamic. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're gonna have a great day, and see you next time.